Get in the know. Non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Yeah, a lot of therapy. A lot of Vikings therapy happening on Purple Daily. Vent line last night, the live stream this morning with the hottest Vikings takes. And this bonus episode here, where we, gentlemen, have finally tracked him down. You know where he went. Randy in Cottage Grove, the most passionate Vikings fan we know, Randy Vikes 69 on Twitter or X. And we've had legions of people wondering, where are the stables? The Vikings are winning all these games. People want the stud stables. And, of course, the minute you come back, they lose a Monday night game against Chicago. So how are you? Where have you been?
Well, first of all, I'll take some of the blame for that loss because, the Pastronaut, as we call him, he didn't get, because of what I was involved with, I didn't get a chance to put him in any of the stud stables, and which, as we know, can be very motivating.
Because of what? Yeah, I shudder to ask what you were.
I
involved
had an
in.
Incident. The reason I'm trying to get my good name back and get off sort of what they call like the HR blacklists. Some of these places is I did have a workplace incident a few years ago with someone at my old place of employment who is a fan of the Green Bay Packers. And
okay, yeah,
remember that it involved a beverage and something that I did to the beverage, and it finally went through a civil, as they call, civil matter. And the way I'm going to clear my name, get my good name back, was they said I had to do a community service, and I did that for the last several weeks, all day, every day. It's not easy.
Wow, you know what?
Are you employed again now? By the way, then after that?
No, I did just settled the matter, and my hope is that if and when I have the good fortune to have some references called, that they'll maybe just stick to the good stuff.
Well, everyone deserves a second chance, and so we're glad that you're on the path to maybe getting a second, third, fourth chance.
Fourth chance.
Yeah, possibly.
I make no apology for what I did. I just had to make amends through the legal system, and that's he still ran his mouth and he got what he deserved.
That doesn't sound like you've learned your lesson necessarily, Randy.
I did the crime, as they say, Jeff, and I did the time, and right. I'd like a second chance, and maybe I'll ask them some questions next time. How many Packer fans work there? How much lip?
It sounds like you should absolutely ask that question.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you've learned it all, but that's okay.
I mean, you can't just get physical with every rival football fan that works in your office. Okay, I mean, I feel like that's an unsustainable way to operate.
I didn't get physical. I enhanced his beverage.
I remember this. Yeah, I don't need to hear any more. Thanks, Randy.
So, well, it feels like it's all temporarily behind us. So we're happy for you. We're glad that you're back here, and
hopefully, just like that loss, put it behind us.
That's gonna be a tough one, I think, to put behind. It's a well-timed bye week in some ways, but you also have to sit on that for like 2 weeks if you're the Vikings.
This stable is loaded. It's no room in the inn, as they say, for this stable.
Okay. Wow.
It's Christmas. It's almost Christmas. Perfect reference.
Fire it up. I'm ready to go.
Let's fire it up. So, by the way, this Randy and Cottage Grove dud stable, I should say, it's a dud stable because they lost, is presented by our friends at Summit Orthopedics. If you're dealing with any type of pain, emotional pain, probably not if you're a sad fan this morning, but physical pain, back, neck, ankles, shoulders, you name it. Summit Orthopedics is here. No referrals are needed. They offer same-day appointments. If you're really hurting, they also offer walk-in orthopedic urgent care 7 days a week from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. 25 locations in the Twin Cities and greater Minnesota. Learn more at summitortho.com. That's summitortho.com. Take it away, Randy Vikes 69.
All right, thank you. Again, I'm sorry, fans. I was not able to do the stud stables when Josh Dobbs would have been in a couple of them. In this case, now it's just dud stables, and that's 2 in a row now. We'll just stick to this game as I come back from the thermos incident. So first off, we'd like to start out with a guy who a lot of people said this year he's going to be great. He's going to be just fine. We're not going to miss a beat with Delvin Cook gone. Hello, this guy's an absolute bust. Scooting around back behind the line of scrimmage, trying to run away from tackles the opposite direction and getting dropped for losses. Alexander Mattison, as far as I'm concerned, you can tear up the rest of that contract and we'll fight it out in court because you're a dud.
I mean, he did have his first 20-yard gain in 2 years last night.
Next up.
Okay.
Very litigious, Randy.
Here. Excuse me?
Oh, nothing. Go ahead.
Here's a guy who a lot of people said he's going to take a big step up this year. He look out. He could be what they call a WR2, wide receiver 2. Haven't seen a whole hell of a lot of this KJ Osborne. Couple of catches last night, but he doesn't do much for me. He's a guy who when JJ is back, I'm starting to put Osborne down number 4, maybe even behind that little scat back Powell. So KJ Osborne, you're a dud.
Yeah. So somebody came on Ventline last night and said, where's KJ? Why can't KJ get more involved? I don't know. He's their fourth best receiver.
Jordan Addison. A lot of people say, well, he had a nice game, caught a few passes. He also has the butterfingers. A Pasternak put one right as they say, right in his mitts, right on him. And I heard the Aikman say, "Oh, they threw it too hard." That's you know why that is, Todd? Because you couldn't throw it that hard when you played. You had a noodle arm.
Wow.
You had what they call a noodle arm, Aikman, and you're jealous that Pasternak can zing it in there with a lot of mustard. And Jordan Addison, this is the pros now. You got to hang on to that ball, and the whole game might change. Instead, it's tipped for a pick. Some of those picks weren't on Josh Dobbs. They just weren't.
Aikman being jealous is an angle that I had not thought of when he said
he's got a noodle. Everyone knew he had a
Todd
noodle.
Aikman.
And here's another guy. You want to talk about quarterback play? Here's a guy whose ass probably could be out there. He just decided to go with the first, what they call first opinion from a medical standpoint, and that's Kirk Cousins. Kirk,
come on.
When you step up in the pocket and you feel something go pop, I get it. That happened to me in bowling. It happened to me with both Achilles on the same, and it was trying to pick up a spare.
What?
Did you fall on your face?
No, it was a little oily on the lanes, and they were freshly oiled, and the pattern was an illegal pattern, by the way, and that's why I no longer bowl at Sunray. But
I love Sunray Lanes.
Oh, you didn't need to name
Lanes. I grew up
at
Sunray Lanes.
Judd here for Sunray.
Sunray, we love
Sunray
you.
Lanes.
Sunray, we're big fans.
You blew both Achilles at the same time.
This is several years ago. For all I know, they got a new wax man now, but he hosed me. The pattern was not a sanctioned pattern, and this was in a tournament. You're getting me off track. Point is, I blew off both ACLs. And I had a doctor tell me, Randy, you need surgery. You know what I did? I didn't do it. I went to what they call a second opinion. My buddy Steve, and Steve said, you don't need to have this surgery.
Steve, a doctor?
You can his son is a physical therapist, and he said you can ice it. You can ice it. You can do what they call rest and relaxation. And I was bowling 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, I was bowling, no surgery. So Kirk, you already made your deal with the devil now, and then going under what they call the knife, but now you can't come back. Now you can't help this team, and it all falls on the shoulders of the Pasternak and KOC. So Kirk, you're a dud. And finally, I'm gonna give Josh Dobbs a free pass and jump straight to the guy who's putting him in these tough spots, and that's KOC. Before the game, a lot of people wanted to say all snug about how he's such a smart coach. He can get so much out of all these players. How come he didn't scramble Dobbs out a little bit last night? Huh? How come he didn't do a little more shotgun, a little more, full empty backfield? Let him improvise. He's got the legs. You're running the ball into the back of the asses of the O-line. It's like Zimmer's back again. KOC, you get in when the lights are bright. You got a little bit of that trickle, a little bit of that running down your leg, and it's time to buck up. KOC. You could have been the toast of the league last night. Could have said one of the hottest teams in the NFC. Instead, you're at home, you're licking your wounds, and you got a whole bye week to look in the mirror and think about what you see, because what I see is a dud.
And is he gone? He's gone. He's gone. Okay.
You like that? You
Drive by at Sunray. I grew up at. I know the exact bowling alley he's talking about on the east side. Is that like
94? Yeah,
94 and McKnight.
Past St. Paul, right?
I grew up a mile and a half from that bowling alley. I have had birthday parties at that bowling alley. I have been an adult at that bowling. I love that bowling. Unnecessary drive.
I've been an adult at that bowling alley.
I've been an adult. Been a kid, teenager. I've had beer there. Come on.
It's no Park Tavern, but I mean it's good.
It's no Park Tavern.
No
Park Tavern.
In fact, we will talk about Park Tavern. But I just want to just rewind there for a second. So is he put Kirk Cousins in the dud stable for last night's game for not seeking a second opinion
and for not playing through because he played through 2 torn Achilles.
Because he has a buddy Steve whose son was a physical therapist who told him you can just put some ice on it and it'll get better, right? Just to clarify his stance there.
Yes, that's exactly what he said.
That's a great Curb Your Enthusiasm episode from a couple seasons ago. I don't know if you guys remember that, but the kid who's son of a dermatologist, and Larry's trying to figure out what he can do, and he says, "Well, are you a doctor?" No, but my dad's a doctor. Like, well, you're not the doctor. Oh, great episode. Made me think of it immediately when he said that.
Can we confirm? Did Kirk seek a second opinion? Or did he just go with the first opinion? I'm just asking a question. Just asking a question. Did he talk to Aaron Rodgers' guy?
Here's my fear. It appears that now that Randy's legal troubles with a thermos are behind him, that he's gotten a little bit haughty again. I'm worried he's going to get in more trouble. He was pretty aggressive there.
Yeah, generally when you go through a 3-year saga like he has described, and you, at the end of it, say, I have no regrets. I need to start asking how many Packer fans work in the buildings that I'm going to be working at.
Well, and if you recall, I won't bring it up, but if you recall, he did describe at the time the thermos incident in detail, and he deserved what he got.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah. I'm going to dig that up on a previous episode from a couple years ago.
I don't prefer not to think of it.
No. If you want to go bowling with sanctioned patterns on the lanes in a place where you probably won't tear any ligaments, okay? Probably. I don't want to guarantee anything. Park Tavern seems like the place.
Absolutely right. Park Tavern, the official sports bar of Sports Dad, located off Louisiana Avenue South in St. Louis Park. There's the bowling alley if you're watching this right now, but I mean, they've got 2 bars. It's absolutely the place to get a group together and gather. And I'm not talking a small group. I'm talking a big group to watch the game, to watch your favorite teams. Park Tavern has something for everyone. Absolutely fantastic. In fact, I went there on Sunday, got a burger, delicious.
Oh,
couple of Surly's, delicious. Perfect way to spend a Sunday afternoon. And right now, also, if you want to get a gift card, it's the perfect holiday gift. You know, you want to get something fast, efficient, easy. The Park Tavern gift card, buy a $100 gift card and get a $25 gift card for free. Available now, again, at Park Tavern. Go to their site, parktavern.net, to get all of their deals, hours, what they have. Parktavern.net. Park Tavern, again, Louisiana Avenue South, St. Louis Park. It's an easy drive, plenty of parking, great place to go.
Also, before Judd, excuse me, I'm getting choked up here thinking about Park Tavern.
You okay?
Before Judd guesses the PFF grades, let's shout out our friends at Nutrisource. So when Maya Mackey hears the magic word FOOD, she perks up like it is Christmas morning. She loves eating the same thing for every meal. That's how good Nutrisource is. Nutrisource chicken and rice. Nutrisource, the official pet and dog food of Purple Daily.
Stella, 7 o'clock this morning. I said, Stella, Pop was up late last night for the football game. Stella said, I don't care. I want my Nutrisource right now, and I want you to get up and give me breakfast. And I said, absolutely. Then she goes outside, comes in, eats, and she is a happy girl. Oh, but that boy right there, the Vinster, is so cute.
Yeah, the Vincer does the same thing. He does this little paw stomping thing. I don't have it for the YouTube channel, but that's his new thing, the paw stomp.
Maya does that too.
The little 2-step, little like, hey, come on. Let's go. I'll stand right in front of this door.
Jerk you in the direct, like, you know, like with his body, like we're going to go this way. I get that from Maya sometimes.
He literally just does the 2-step, and he'll keep doing it, and then he'll let out a little whimper, a little cry, like, let's go. Like, can we do the thing that I want, not the thing that you always want, Dad?
Yeah. It's about me. just feel like Maya, when she gets really upset, like, hey, it's time. Hey, come on. I feel like she's calling me names in her head. Come on, fat boy. Give me a scoop of food. That Nutrisource.
Oh, they do.
NutrisourcePetFoods.com. NutrisourcePetFoods.com. Judd, it's time for you to guess the PFF grades. We put Judd's historical knowledge and eye test of watching hundreds of Vikings games in his life up against PFF's grading system. Just came out earlier this morning. Let's start with the offense.
Yeah.
Putrid offensive performance.
Let's start at the bottom, okay?
So you're looking to guess the 3 worst and 3 best graded Vikings players. You get 6 total to guess. You get 3 total strikes. And we're going to draw the line at 20 snaps or more.
Okay.
To qualify here. So Johnny Munt, for instance, only played 7. He doesn't count. Ty Chandler only played 18 snaps in that game. Only a couple carries. He doesn't count.
How many carries did Ty get last night?
I think it was 2. Pretty sure it was 2 for 9, right? 2 for 7?
4 for 8.
4 for 8.
4 for 8. All right, let's start at the bottom with the worst performances because I think I've got a fighting chance there. Obviously, Josh Dobbs has to be. He should be the worst.
Only the 3rd worst Vikings player on offense.
God.
It was his worst game, I believe. 54.2 grade out of 100. Probably his worst as a Viking.
If coaches were included, which perhaps they should be, Kevin O'Connell would also be bottom 3.
They made an exception here this week. Yeah, Kevin O'Connell is the 2nd worst graded player. No.
Yep. All right.
He just snuck him in there.
I'm going to. So I don't think the offensive line had a very good game. And I'm going to go with a guy who I think has sort of been a consistent weak link. PFF doesn't love him. Dalton Reisner.
Dalton Reisner was the worst graded player for the Vikings offensively in this game. He was his run blocking grade was 40 out of 100, which is not good.
He's consistently, I feel like, been in that bottom 3 since he began starting.
Yeah, he's just kind of a guy. He's not as good as Ezra Cleveland.
Yep, who threw I saw got downfield and threw a key block for the Jaguars on Sunday. All right, so I need one more offensive player in the bottom 3. Oh boy, so many choices, so many just great choices. You know what? I'm going to use another guess on an offensive lineman, Ed Ingram.
Incorrect.
Okay.
What's 1 strike?
All right. This guy got beat a few times. Brian O'Neill.
So Brian O'Neill gave up 6 pressures in this game. One of his worst games of the season, but he did not fall into the bottom 3 because they loved his run blocking. Train wreck pass blocking performance, but they loved his run blocking, so it kind of balanced out.
Am I barking up the right tree here?
Like in terms of...
Like I'm going lineman? Am I barking up the right,
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Usually we don't give hints, but since you only have one strike left here.
I have 1 strike left here, and there was just such an overall pathetic performance. Jordan Addison.
There you go. Now you're back on track. Yeah, he had the key drop that turned into an interception, and then he had the couldn't keep his feet in bounds thing.
Right.
So he was a 52.7 grade, and run blocking 35 out of 100 for him, which is terrible.
Didn't really show up for this game, did he? All right, so that's
kind of a zombie, man. And then, dude, okay, unless he knew that ball hit the turf, once you get up and kind of be demonstrative, I'm gonna poke at Jordan Addison for a second. Does that dude ever show emotion outside of driving 140 miles an hour at 3:00 in the morning? Doesn't he seem a little just kind of...
I think he's pretty flatline.
Pretty flatline?
I think that's personality.
Okay.
I'm not saying excusable. I'm just saying I think it's personality.
Just, just catch that pass. You can be flatline. Just, just catch the
All
pass.
right. Now you need a top 3.
Yep.
Alexander Mattison.
He was the 2nd highest graded player. 69.3 out of 100.
TJ Hawkinson.
Look at this comeback. Wow. Look at this. 3rd highest graded player, 67.2. So that's right. The two of the three highest graded players were still below a 70 out of 100 grade. Only one player on offense above a 70.
Yeah.
So you got one strike left. We're looking for the last player on the board. Who was the highest graded Vikings player?
I'm going with a PFF darling. So this is just a Hail Mary pass, but I feel like I have figured him out. Josh Oliver.
Good logic, but it did not go well for Josh Oliver last night either. A 61.6 grade. Garrett Bradbury was the highest graded offensive player for the Vikings in this one.
Honestly, wouldn't have gotten that.
Yeah. He's been kind of, I feel like he's definitely better than he was a couple years ago, but kind of, in general, we haven't noticed him as much maybe, which is a good thing compared to a couple years ago.
No, he's been solid.
Let me just poke around the offense here before we get to your defensive grades. On the passing front, Josh Dobbs was pressured on 44% of his dropbacks. Offensive line was responsible for some of that. Some of it's just like his timing. He's not getting the ball out on schedule, as they would say.
Right.
Or maybe he's bailing on a clean pocket because he doesn't see something and now he's running himself into pressure. When he was under pressure, it was bad. He was 8 for 14 for only 84 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions when pressured, a 26.7 grade out of 100 when pressured. When clean, 84 out of 100 grade. So obviously, if he can avoid pressuring himself by running out of, sometimes he sees ghosts and just kind of like runs himself into pressure.
Yeah.
And the offensive line obviously can do a better job too. So on the offensive line front, it was just kind of a hodgepodge of pressure. Let's see here. Where's the offensive line? Blocking stats. Okay,
Brian O'Neill, tough game, you said.
6 pressures allowed for Brian O'Neill, 4 for Ed Ingram. And then Alexander Mattison gave up a sack and 2 pressures in pass protection. Josh Oliver gave up 2 hits in pass protection in heavier personal. And then Dalton Reisner, a couple. Bradbury, a couple. Darisaw gave up 2 hits. One of them? I feel like Darisaw got beat on a key play in that game. It was not a great game.
O'Neill was going against Sweat quite a bit, and he is a nice addition. He's going to cause some problems.
Yep. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball here. So again, same thing, 3 best, 3 worst, and you're going to get 3 strikes total here.
All right.
We're going to draw the line at God, there's so many. Let's go 30 snaps for this one because there's just a lot of kind of hodgepodgey. Like Patrick Jones II played 28. There's enough guys that played at least 30 snaps. We're going to draw the line at 30 snaps or more here.
30? Okay. All right. Let's start at the top here because obviously Brian Flores' defense played pretty damn well. Danielle Hunter in the top 3.
He was the second highest graded player for the Vikings on defense, 77.4 grade out of 100. 7 pressures, 2 sacks, 4 hurries, 6 tackles, including 5 stop tackles in this game.
Pay the man. Pay the man.
Pay that
his
man
money.
His money.
All right. Ivan Pace, top 3.
Ivan Pace, not in the top 3.
All right.
Strike 1.
Okay. All right.
I withhold details in case these guys fall into like the other category. So if you're not correct, I'll tell you later where the other guys.
I hear you. It's all part of the game. Josh Metellus, top 3.
Ooh, that's a bad beat. He was the fourth highest graded defensive player. Whoops, sorry.
Nope.
No.
And then you son of a.
He had 3 pressures, a sack, a couple of hurries, 7 tackles, 5 stop tackles. So a stop tackle, by the way, because we do use that phrase in this segment, is defined as a tackle that constitutes a failure for the offense. So like a successful play for the offense is 50% of the yards to go on first down. I believe it's 40% of the yards to go on second down, or 60, and then all of the yards to go on third down. So if you tackle a guy on third down before the sticks, it's a stop tackle. If you tackle a guy on first down and it's not at least 50% of the yards, so if it's 1st and 10 and ball carrier runs for 3 yards, you tackle him. That's a stop tackle. It's a successful play for the defense.
But if he runs for 8,
then
I tackle him?
Then it's just a tackle. Yep.
All right, so I'm down to 1 strike, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Long road here for you.
You know what? I feel like I saw this guy flash last night. He seems to traditionally play well against the monsters of the Midway. DJ Wanham, top 3. Come on, DJ Wanham.
DJ Wanham is not in the top 3. You did see him flash, though.
Tell me it's not Bynum, because he was going to be my other guess.
I think what's Bynum was number 1. He was the highest graded player.
Son of yes.
Yeah, he's had a really good season. We'll go. Let's circle back on like Wanham, because you might look at this and say, "Holy crap!" The Vikings had 31 pressures in this game defensively. Yep. They did have a good game defensively, but some of these performances were graded differently than you would think. So Cam Bynum number 1, Daniil Hunter number 2, Mekhi Blackmon bounced back, had a nice game as the 3rd highest graded player.
Yep.
He was only targeted 1 time in coverage, which is good. And then the 3 worst players that played at least 30 snaps in this game were Ivan Pace Jr., Harrison Smith, and Jonathan Bullard, the defensive lineman.
Really?
Yeah. Ivan Pace was really bad in the run defense game. He had the 1 sack, so you saw him flash on the sack.
Yeah.
But he was just kind of wrong place, wrong time on some plays. So here's what I find interesting. Like, DJ Wanham was kind of given a meh grade, a 60 out of 100. But he had the 6 pressures, the 6 hurries. He'd batted 2 balls down. But I think what happens is if Justin Fields spazzes out and like leaves the pocket and it turns into a pressure, it wasn't that you generated a pressure. It was that he kind of like walked into the pressure, Like if Fields rolls out and Wanham is there on the edge and it turns into a pressure, it's less credit to Wanham. That's my deduction here. And same for like Patrick Jones, we had a really bad grade. He had 5 pressures in this game. So I think not all pressures are equal. If a pocket passer drops back and you beat the left tackle off the edge and you fluster that quarterback, that's a credit to you. That's a pressure. If Fields uses his legs to roll out and all of a sudden now he's extending the play and you're running after him and you get close, that's more Fields not throwing the football in a timely manner, right? So
the one knockdown that Wanham had on Fields, he knocked it down. It was a nice play, but I think he realized quickly he could have caught it and walked into the end zone.
Yeah.
If you recall that one, he reached up and I think the instinctual thing is bat the ball down, right? But like the ball was basically in his hands. It's like, oh, dude, if you had caught that, no one was catching you.
Yeah. God, there's so many. The Bears tried so hard to just give that game away on all fronts.
I really thought the Vikings were going to win with a defensive touchdown. Like I thought they were going to score a defensive touchdown.
Yeah. It did kind of feel that way for a while. Like, okay. So on the Joshua Dobbs front, here's what's interesting. So he was credited with 3 turnover-worthy plays in this game. So PFF has obviously the actual turnovers. He had 4 interceptions, but he also almost threw a pick 6. So call it 4 interceptions and then what should have been an interception, but only 3 turnover-worthy plays. I think the play to Addison, where Addison drops that ball, that is not considered a turnover-worthy play. That like you didn't throw that ball in a place where it should have been picked. I don't know what the other one was because the pick 6 one should have been. I'm trying to think like that ball he threw behind KJ. I guess maybe could have been considered not a turnover worthy play. But if you throw a ball off target in the middle of the field like that and it bounces out like that, that's a risky throw that goes awry. So with that though, Josh Dobbs now is tied for the league lead in turnover worthy plays on the season. Not a good thing.
Congratulations.
Not a good thing.
You've achieved something that
nice job.
Most players don't. You've gotten to the top of a list of something.
And if you go to scorenorth.com/shop, you can get 30% off clearance, 30% off your Pastronaut-related Purple Daily merchandise with the promo code Dobbs.
Soon to be replaced by merch that says "in the nick of time,"
or just mock. We should just do like mock draft merch now. Just like new mock drafts, just screen printed on hooded sweatshirts. We'll give you updates every week. So, all right, let's do our Pigskin Pecking Order here as well, gentlemen, where we put together our top 10 teams, we aggregate them, And then we also tell you where the Vikings rank. The Vikings fell out of our 10 after their Broncos loss last week. We'll see where they fall now after losing to the Bears. But here's what we have, boys. Number 1 team in the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 2, the San Francisco 49ers. Number 3, the Baltimore Ravens. I'll give you the top 5, and then we can kind of discuss here. Sure. Kansas City Chiefs, number 4. Miami Dolphins back in the 5 at number 5. So Judd and Declan both have the Eagles number 1. I have the 49ers still number 1. I've had them number 1 now for at least 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. I have the Eagles number 2. Judd has the Niners number 2. Declan has the Chiefs at 2, with the Niners at 3. And then, Judd, you and I both have the Ravens at 3. And then I've got the Chiefs at 4. Judd has the Chiefs at 5. So we got the Chiefs kind of all over the place. Mm-hmm. For Dolphins, Judd has them 4. Declan has them 5. I have them 7th. I don't know. They're fine. They tend to lose to like the better teams that they play, but whatever. 6, Cowboys back on the rise. The Cowboys beat the crap out of bad teams and then lose to the good teams. So the Cowboys and the Dolphins are kind of in the same bin. Jaguars 7, Lions down to 8, Buffalo Bills after a loss moving back into the 10 here, and the Houston Texans staying strong at number 10. One note on the Bills, Declan had them out of the 10. Judd, you and I saw enough in that loss to move them up to 9th. Both of us had them 9th. And Declan and I voted for the Steelers to be 10th, but they did not
make me to do that.
I can't do that yet. I can't. And I dropped the Browns out. The thing with the Bills that swayed me is the point differential is sick. The point differential for the Bills is absolutely unbelievable. They are murdering teams in point differential, and that's why I put them back in my top 10.
It's weird because they've been like this for a few years where they either beat you 35-6 or they lose heartbreaking games.
Yep.
So it's kind of a
weird
team.
Did piss away that game.
Yeah, they screwed that up.
That was a bad loss. I mean,
yes,
that game was theirs.
Yeah, it was. So where do the Vikings rank? I have them 14th. Judd has them 14th. Declan has them 15th. So we had them a couple weeks ago as high as like 9th, 10th. And now we've moved them right back into the middle of the pack. It is funny that this team, you never know like which direction the roller coaster is going to go, but it almost always takes you to the 8 or 9 win mark, except for last year, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's where we're headed right now, isn't it? We're headed to like 8 or 9 wins.
And draft spot, whatever, 20? 19.
Yeah, are they gonna? I mean, they might lose both those games to the Lions now if they, if the Pasternauts' shine has worn off, and now you're just like dealing with backup quarterback situation again. What is their path to like? How many games left? So you got the 2 road games. You got 5 games left, right? Yeah, 6-6. What's your path to 10? Is there a path to 10? 4-1.
Well. Can you beat Jake Browning?
You should be able to beat the Raiders, beat the Bengals, split with the Lions, beat the Packers. I guess that's your path.
The Raiders are playing, although they lost, I think, on Sunday, but they're playing substantially better for Antonio Pierce than they did for that buffoon Josh McDaniels. So
yeah, they are.
That's not going to be. That's not an easy win now. And
you lose at home to the Bears. It's now you can't play the schedule game anymore now.
No. And you still like to think that you're going to split with Detroit, but you're not sure of that. And like that Packers game now, which could be absolutely hilariously very key to the playoff race. Yeah. That Packers game is, Jordan Love started to play, if he continues again, started to play pretty well of late.
Yep. Yeah. None of these now. If you take care of business against the Bears, everything looks cleaner. Now it's like you got a bye week. You're probably going to win those road games against bad teams. And now it's like, who the hell knows what's going to happen with this team now?
And you just lost back-to-back games that I think you can make a very good case. You should have won both.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like both those games were there for the taking. You again shot yourself in the foot twice.
Yeah. Amen. You don't have to shoot yourself in the foot this food season. You can get out in front of it. You can lose weight before everyone else does. All these people that wait until January 1st to change their lives, Judd.
No. Don't wait. In fact, Take advantage right now of Livia Weight Control Centers and what they offer you. Look at that. Sports Dad there on the left, Sports Dad on the right. Yeah, that's right. It's the same person. But you know what? That guy was down 40 pounds, lost 40 pounds. And, you know, I was telling Dex this on JHSville yesterday, corresponding with a guy who had asked me a few months ago about a year ago, about joining this program. And he's like, I want to lose weight, but I want to make sure it works. Does this work? And I said, Livia absolutely works. And guess what? He joined, got a note from him. He has reached his goal weight, down more than 100 pounds now. So like, you want to lose substantial weight, and start now. Don't wait. Yeah, don't wait until January 1st when it's a cliche and everyone's going on diets. Start right now. And in fact, Livia's Black Friday offer continues right now. It's been extended. Limited time, but 50% off the program. So you are going to get a great deal. You're going to lose weight. And by January 1st, you're going to be down, let's say 10 to 15 pounds and feeling great. 855-GO-LIVEA, Livia.com, Livia, Livea.com.
Amen. All right, that's a wrap on this bonus episode here. Good to have our guy back in the mix, Randy in Cottage Grove, Randy Vikes 69 on Twitter.
Doesn't seem in the right headspace to me.
You know, he did show up one time. We've met him once in person. He showed up to the state fair one time in Viking Zubas and like a Percy Harvin jersey.
Yeah.
And he asked a question at the microphone. And I was wondering, why is he walking like this? Like, why is he shuffling like a penguin? Oh, because he tore both of his Achilles in a bowling incident and never got them surgically repaired. That would.
And then what was really painful is he ran away. So he was running like that.
Like, does he have to go to the bathroom? No, he just
no, I don't stop.
Step drop.
Don't even bring that up.
Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment where we just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.